Have you ever stopped to wonder why some women walk into a room and suddenly everyone seems to sit up straighter, as if an invisible force just took over the space? It's not about beauty, expensive clothes, or status. It's something much deeper, a silent energy that sparks respect, admiration, and even a little fear. Today, I'm going to reveal what this hidden force is, the one that can turn any woman into someone absolutely impossible to ignore. A woman who knows her worth is like a wall of steel. You can try to push, but there's no way through. She knows exactly who she is, her strengths, her flaws, and yet she never bargains with her dignity. That kind of firmness is rare in a world where so many people live seeking approval. When someone tries to put her down, the effect is the opposite. She actually rises higher in everyone's eyes. What's fascinating is that this confidence isn't loud. She doesn't need to shout. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She simply exists, and that alone is enough. Picture a rock in the middle of a rushing river. The current pushes against it, but it remains unshaken. That's the essence of a woman who values herself. And the immediate consequence? Respect. Both men and women around her recognize they're facing someone who won't bend easily. And where there's respect, admiration always follows. People not only acknowledge her strength, but also feel drawn to learn from it. This presence intimidates those who thrive on manipulation, but it attracts those who cherish truth. That's why a woman who knows her worth never walks alone. She carries with her attention, curiosity, and yes, even envy. But what stops so many women from living this way? The answer lies in something that began a long time ago, in the way they were taught to always please. And that's exactly what we need to talk about next. From childhood, many girls hear phrases like, "Be quiet," "Be a good girl," "Don't make a scene." While boys are encouraged to be bold, to explore, and even to be mischievous, girls are taught that approval comes from pleasing others. This silent conditioning slowly shapes entire personalities. The result shows up in adulthood. Women who are afraid to say no, who apologize even when they did nothing wrong, who carry everyone else's burdens but neglect their own. It's as if their self-worth had been programmed to always come second. This training creates unbalanced relationships. At work, they accept heavier workloads without complaint. In love, they tolerate disrespect because they believe being understanding is their duty. Deep down, they live to avoid the label of being selfish. But here's the truth. Constant pleasing doesn't create real love. It creates dependency. It creates abuse. And more often than not, it creates invisibility. Pleasing might keep people around, but it will never earn you true respect. And that's why the antidote is so powerful, learning how to set boundaries. Because boundaries don't push the right people away, they actually bring them closer. Setting boundaries isn't arrogance, it's emotional intelligence. It's realizing that every no you say to the world is actually a yes to yourself. And that simple shift in perspective is nothing short of revolutionary. Think of a house without fences or doors. Anyone can walk in, touch things, use them, or even destroy them. Now picture a house with walls and gates. Only invited guests can enter. That's exactly what happens with your life. Without boundaries, you become public space. With boundaries, you become sacred. The most powerful truth is that boundaries don't scare away the people who love you. Quite the opposite, they bring clarity. Those who stay do so because they respect you. Those who leave reveal they were only there to take advantage. Saying no can feel heavy at first. Guilt shows up, along with the fear of seeming cold or of losing people. But over time, you discover nothing is more freeing than protecting your peace, your energy, and your essence. And once you learn to protect yourself, you naturally uncover the foundation that sustains it all: self-love. Loving yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. You simply can't give the world something you don't already have. A woman who doesn't love herself becomes a hostage to the love of others, and that makes her fragile. Self-love is built in the details. Getting enough sleep, nourishing your body with care, speaking kindly to yourself, celebrating small wins, tending to both body and mind. These are simple acts, yet powerful enough to nourish the soul day after day. A woman who loves herself radiates that energy in everything she does. She's like a flower that's been well watered. It doesn't matter if anyone notices, she blooms anyway. And this blooming presence captures the curiosity of everyone around her. Of course, there will always be critics, those who try to dim that light by labeling it vanity or arrogance. But that's the price of freedom, living without depending on applause. And one of the greatest threats to self-love is constant comparison, because nothing eats away at confidence more than measuring yourself against someone else's life. Comparing yourself to other women is like running on a treadmill that never stops. You exhaust yourself, but you never actually get anywhere. There will always be someone prettier, richer, younger, or more successful. That race is unfair because the measure is never real. The problem is that social media makes this trap even bigger. We scroll through endless feeds, seeing only the highlights, the perfect filters, the brightest moments, the polished versions of someone else's life. It's like watching a movie trailer and believing it represents the entire story. But the only fair comparison is with yourself. Who were you yesterday? Who are you today? Who do you want to be tomorrow? That's the ruler that truly matters. Every step forward, no matter how small, is already a victory. When you understand this, jealousy transforms into inspiration. Someone else's achievement doesn't shrink yours. It simply proves it's possible. And this shift in mindset frees up incredible energy to focus on your own growth. And it's exactly when you stop measuring yourself by someone else's standards that the fear of being alone starts losing its grip on you. The fear of loneliness is one of the biggest enemies of a woman's dignity. How many women settle for crumbs of attention, tolerate humiliation, or even endure abuse just to avoid being alone? For many, loneliness feels like failure. But the truth is very different. Loneliness isn't emptiness, it's space. Space to reconnect with yourself, to rebuild, to grow stronger. Being alone can be uncomfortable, but being with the wrong person can be destructive. Toxic relationships drain your energy, kill your dreams, and leave deep scars. And the cruelest part is that they often begin with the fear of not being loved. When you sacrifice your dignity just to have company, you end up losing yourself. That's why the saying, better alone than in bad company, isn't a cliche, it's emotional survival. When you truly embrace that, you stop fearing loneliness and start fearing relationships that cost you your peace. And in this process, you discover the life-changing power of one short but mighty word. No. A firm no can save you from years of suffering. How many stories would look completely different if, at the very beginning, someone had found the courage to refuse? Saying no isn't about being harsh, it's about self-preservation. When you accept what you don't want, you're essentially betraying yourself. You're saying yes to the world while saying no to your own heart. And that's the perfect recipe for resentment and regret. The interesting thing is that no doesn't destroy healthy relationships. Quite the opposite, it strengthens them. People who respect you will understand and remain by your side. Those who can't accept your no are showing they never truly deserve to be there. This power is liberating because it breaks the cycle of submission. You stop being a hostage to outside approval and step into the role of author of your own story. But here's the twist. Once you start saying no, another challenge often appears: emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is one of the oldest tricks in the book. How many times has someone said things like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me," or "You're being selfish"? These sweet-sounding traps are dangerous because they slowly eat away at your strength. Recognizing this game is the first step. And the antidote is simple, but it takes courage, consistency. Words can persuade, but actions always reveal the truth. Someone who claims to love you but constantly disrespects your boundaries doesn't truly love you. Consistency draws a clear line between manipulation and genuine love. If someone demands that you betray yourself to prove your feelings, that's not love, it's control. And each time you give in, you weaken your own foundation. A woman who refuses to play that game earns something rare, real respect, because she shows she can't be bought with pretty words or empty promises. She demands alignment, and that alone unsettles those who live off appearances. And once you learn how to deal with manipulation, you uncover a silent weapon that's more powerful than most people realize: silence itself. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every provocation deserves a fight. Silence, when used wisely, is more powerful than 1,000 words. Think of a fire. If you throw gasoline on it, the flames grow. If you don't feed it, it burns out. The same is true for unnecessary arguments. Many times, responding gives the other person exactly what they want: attention, drama, control. Strategic silence isn't omission, it's choice. It's a way of saying, without words, my peace is worth more than this fight. It's about preserving energy for the battles that truly matter. And this silence throws people off balance. Those expecting a reaction lose their grip. Those who wanted to manipulate realize they've lost their power. In that very emptiness, your strength is revealed. And when you combine silence with firmness, self-love, and clear boundaries, that's when the hidden force finally emerges. The one that makes any woman both feared and deeply admired. Now let me ask you this. How many times have you betrayed yourself just to please others? How many times have you said yes when deep down you wanted to say no? How many times has the fear of being alone pushed you into relationships that only hurt you? If any of those questions hit home, it's a sign that change is calling your name. Because being feared and admired isn't about being cold, it's about being whole. And if you're ready to keep walking this path of strength, dignity, and respect, then subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on the notifications and share this video with a friend who needs to wake up to this truth. After all, personal revolutions begin just like this, with one bold decision.